This is a book review of The Incredible Hulk, Man or Monster. So you've got Man or Monster, and it's by obviously Jack Kirby and Stan Lee. This is volume 1 of the epic series, 1962 to 64, and it includes a vast amount of material. So you've got Incredible Hulk 1 to 6, Fantastic Four 12, 25, 26. So there's a lot of material from other books. So it's more like a complete edition. Avengers 1 to 3, 5, Amazing Spider-Man 14, Tales to Astonish 59, and Journey into Mystery 112. Well, it's got a lot of classic stories. And of course, it's got the first 6 comics that came out with the Hulk. Of course, they cancelled the Hulk at that point, and then you had all these other stories that when the Hulk was basically wandering around and needed to find his magazine again. Of course, eventually it was the Tales to Astonish when he reappeared. And weirdly, this only gives 1 issue to the Tales to Astonish at the end. Obviously, you have to wait to the next volume to get the Tales to Astonish stories. Well, Tales to Astonish, of course, was shared with Submariner and also with Giant Man. So you've got the Stan Lee, Jack Kirby, you've got Steve Ditko as well. You've got a brilliant Steve Ditko one where he's against the Metal Master. So you've got Incredible Hulk, the origin, the coming of the Hulk. Of course, it's in grey at this point. It's got a grey one, Incredible Hulk. And you've got the story, obviously, the Gamma bomb. Don't have to explain the story. I'm certain you know the story of the Hulk. Brilliant tale. But always with these stories, especially the early Marvels, a lot of them were in chapters or parts. It's got here part 3. The search for Hulk. For the Hulk, I should say. And you, of course, got the Gargoyle. It's a bit like the Mole Man or whatever. Some of the early villains. Now, the Gargoyle, I'm certain, turned up later. But you got Gargoyle as the villain game, part 5. So it's really quite split into a lot of parts. And you got, anyway, good story. Incredible Hulk, issue 2. And you got, again, sort of follows a pattern. You got the Mole Man sort of like story initially. Then you got the Incredible Hulk 2 with the Toadmen, which is like obviously the Skrulls. Now, I think the Toadmen probably has turned up since. Probably have a minor story. I think they were, I can't remember now, was it a Spider-Woman story? It was something like that. Well, I'm certain they have turned up. So you got the Toadmen, and you got Bruce Banner wanted for treason. A great story and a brilliant artwork as well. Of course, Jack Kirby, J. Kirby. Always put J. Kirby. No odd. Hulk banished to outer space, because you had like, again, they split the stories. You sometimes I have a 10-page story and then you have another story. And this one you've actually got the Ringmaster, isn't it? Trapped by the Ringmaster. And you got Rick Jones. Rick Jones is a character obviously that he helped, so he ends up becoming the Hulk because of Rick Jones. And you got, they're connected in this point in the story. And you've got an interesting story that they didn't really continue very long, but it was good for a bit. So you got the origin of the Hulk game. There's only a couple of issues after they have to put the origin of the Hulk. People have forgotten already. It was only a couple of issues ago. Anyway, Ringmaster, obviously, power to sap wills, etc., etc. Well, he never did very well, particularly for himself. So next one, Monster and the Machine, and then Mongo Gladiator from Space. And there's just beautiful artwork, beautiful colours. Restoration is superb. And 2-ton axe. Tyrannus. General's Fangs. You can see the general gist of the stories. They were good. There were lots of communist stories. And that was that. And then you had you had this one, Fantastic Four number 12. Now, I don't know, Fantastic Four number 12. When was that come out? Oh, both saying, this is really quite odd. So you got this story last, the Fantastic Four meets the Incredible Hulk, or the Hulk, and you got Hulk versus the Thing. But at this point, he still had his comic going. I don't know because quite often a lot of these ones, and without looking at the thing, you got X101. They always had a little code that they would put. So you got the Hulk there. So it's the same month as Incredible Hulk, X101. Oh, this one, the Metal Master, was slightly after. Anyway, this is Steve Ditko. So you've got the Steve Ditko one. Now the Hulk looked really odd. The Metal Master story very much fits in with a standard like Ditko feel, but the Hulk looks really strange. And actually, you got here old Rick looking actually a bit looks like Peter Parker. But anyway, you got the Hulk, and then of course it goes into the next story, which is the classic. This obviously was when the magazine had been cancelled. You got the Hulk turning up as obviously the central point of coming of the Avengers. You got Avengers #1. You got Loki starts the ball rolling. A great story, but it's a weird one because you got the Hulk story with the couple of the Avengers, and then you got Thor battling Loki, as if they were like two separate stories. It's like they were joined together. You got like, you know, the Thor stuff is disconnected, as if it was from an old Journey into Mystery story. You got Space Phantom. You got the brilliant one with the golden Iron Man there, and then you go into the classic. Iron Man's changed at this point. You've got Giant Man there, and Avengers feature Submariner. This is issue 3 with the Hulk and Submariner. Great story. Hulk versus the Thing. So you've got a lot of these crossovers, all with the Hulk, who didn't have a magazine at this point. So you've got Hulk versus the Thing, and that's in the Fantastic Four. Brilliant story. Now, the inking's a bit odd in that one, but it's still classic. I've got this issue, real super tatty issue of it, and it's a brilliant, brilliant story. Fantastic Four 26, the Avengers Takeover. A lot of crossovers here. They're really building up that Marvel universe at this point. So you've got the Giant Man whopping the Hulk, and Hulk sort of, that was really going to work. Invasion of Lava Men. Quite a bit of Now, Hulk didn't really vast amount in this, just a little bit. The story was the Hulk. Then you've got the Amazing Spider-Man, number 14, where he battles the Hulk again, another crossover into another story. And then you've got this weird one where you've got the Incredible Hulk battles Giant Man, which in a sense was a great intro to bring in the Hulk for his own series. So you've got the Giant Man battling the Hulk, actually looking very odd. It's a really odd looking Dick Ayers. So again, every time you see different artists do a character, they look very, very different. And definitely, you've got here, Betty Ross looks very different. Anyway, great story. Then you got a lovely pin-up as well here, again, brilliant toast. And it actually mentions that he will be by Lee. It says here, starting next issue, The Incredible Hulk by Lee and Ditko. By Lee and Ditko. Isn't that odd? It's just odd that I always thought Jack Kirby, but Lee and Ditko, it says here. Anyway, regularly in the second starring feature in Tales to Astonish. Then you got the Mighty Thunder God versus Incredible Hulk, and that, of course, was a continuation of, or an in-between bit, I should say, of the Avengers 3, and that was a classic. Just one of my favourites. And now on sale, The Incredible Hulk #1. This was in the Fantastic Four issue 5. Brilliant. And then you've got some very few bonus material, bits of inked pages, etc. But still, an absolutely brilliant. How many pages? There's about 400 odd pages in this. A really excellent collection. Incredible Hulk, the Epic Volume 1.